Thank you very much, Oren. That was spectacular. I really enjoyed it. And thank you to our guests also. Thank you to the brain. The brain. Maybe I can switch with her. That was just, she's amazing. We move on. Another fascinating presentation in a few seconds. A live demonstration. This will be terrific. The next demonstration actually picks up on screening through canine detection. During this live demonstration, we invite you to participate with the dog handlers and learn firsthand how explosive detection using canines can be utilized at the security checkpoint or ICAO assembly hall. To lead this demonstration, we have Mr. Azat Zaripov, Deputy Director of Aviation Security Management Department at Aeroflot Russian Airlines. Just a few words. Since 2001, Azat is engaged in development and improvement of dog application methods for the purposes of ensuring air transportation aviation security. His main goal is the development of applied olfactory biotechnical system for detection of dangerous objects and substances on air transport. Joining him are Inspector Akrum Ghadban, the officer in charge of police dog services at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the famous RCMP. So, gentlemen, if you would come on stage, please. I don't see the dog. Thank you.
English. Russian.
I think it's 5. I think it's number 5. Yes, yes, it's first. Yes, first speaker.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Прежде всего, я хотел бы поблагодарить секретариат ИКАО за возможность принять участие в этом очень важном мероприятии, глобальном саммите по авиационной безопасности. Наше присутствие здесь позволит показать вам некоторые работы, выполняемые в Российской Федерации в области развития служебной кинологии. Так случилось, что в самые трудные времена человечество в целом, каждый из нас старается прибегнуть к помощи наших лучших друзей, животных, в частности собак. Не случайно и в вооруженных силах, и в полиции, таможенной и пограничной службе широко применяются собаки. Применяются они также в большинстве государств для обеспечения авиационной безопасности. В связи с этим вопрос возникает, если это хорошо известно, широко применяется, то о каких инновациях может идти речь? Сегодня мы покажем вам свои работы в этой области. Секретариат ИКАО предлагал приехать нам со своими собаками, но исходя из позиций гуманности по отношению к нашим питомцам, мы решили оставить их дома, а в это время на помощь к нам пришли наши коллеги из кинологической службы Канады. Так что мы будем вместе показывать возможности. Еще одна хорошая новость. Мы сегодня, ввиду того, что не смогли привезти собак, решили показать вам небольшой фильм. Если можно, пожалуйста.
Sheremetyevo International Airport, one of the largest in Russia, and the base airfield for PJSC Aeroflot Russian Airlines. Every day, thousands of Aeroflot passengers fly between 123 cities in 52 different countries. Aeroflot independently carries out its own ground handling operations for passengers and aircraft, as well as for flights by its partner companies. Aeroflot has been a member of the Global Aviation Alliance SkyTeam since 2009. Security is Aeroflot's main priority. One of the means we use to strengthen existing systems is the deployment of dogs, specially trained to detect explosives. They're called explosive detection dogs, or EDD in the aviation world. Aeroflot's Canine Monitoring Unit employs over 20 specialists and more than 50 actively working dogs. Every day, they do their best to make passengers feel secure and comfortable. Using EDD in aviation security poses several challenges. Achieving a balance between the efficiency of canine activity and environmental conditions, restrictions on the amount of time dogs can actively work, and a lack of objective control over results. To help eliminate the impact of these negative factors, the specialists at Aeroflot's Canine Monitoring Unit are working with Russian scientists to develop a biotechnical olfactory system. This consists firstly of biodetectors, a Jackal Dog Hybrid known as Sulimov's dog. This unique breed is famous for its abilities to distinguish scents and have for many years formed the base of Aeroflot's Canine Monitoring Unit. It's known today as one of the most effective dogs in the field, not just in Russia, but around the world. Compared to traditional breeds, hybrid dogs have several distinctive features. An expanded temperature range. They can work in various climatic conditions. Experiments have been carried out in Russia at temperatures below -30 degrees Celsius and in the United Arab Emirates at temperatures of up to 42 degrees Celsius. Increased levels of olfactory sensitivity and selectivity to the most common explosives and other target substances, natural orientation, and a keen enthusiasm for search activity. Their small size and weight means they can easily be deployed in restricted space, such as aircraft cabins, luggage, and technical compartments. The Jackal Dog Hybrid is named after its creator, Klim Sulimov, a well-known Russian scientist and expert in odorology, the study of smell. In the late 1970s, he crossed a jackal with a Laika, a northern dog similar to a husky. The result was a unique hybrid that inherited the best qualities from its ancestors on both sides. Another element of the biotechnical system is REST, Remote Explosive Scent Tracing. The REST method consists of periodic sampling of air from areas of surveillance, such as particular rooms, cargo compartments, containers, and cargo loading units. It's an effective way to reduce labor costs and save time. Sampling is carried out by a specially developed accumulation device that can detect the gaseous components of explosives. It's equipped with an air consumption activator. The device is compact and simple to use. Samples are taken to the Aeroflot Canine Monitoring Unit's olfactory biotechnical laboratory, where they're checked by explosive detection dogs under laboratory conditions. A small trace of the target odor on a filter could be enough to confuse an EDD and lead to false results. In order to exclude the possibility of such mistakes and to boost EDD efficiency, a unique method of objectifying the results of target substance searches by EDD has been developed by Aeroflot specialists working with Russian scientists. A specially developed software-hardware combination called Laika is used to objectify the biodetector's selection. It maintains logs and provides an integrated analysis of physiological parameters. It provides dynamic analysis of bioelectrical brain activity and the central nervous system's influence on other vital body systems. That's how it's possible to evaluate the reliability of target substance detection based on objective data analysis. The Laika software-hardware system consists of two modules, mobile and remote. The mobile unit is an equipment complex, a set of electrodes providing an electroencephalogram, or EEG, an electrocardiogram, ECG, an actogram, AG, an amplifier transmitter, and a hands-off software unit to process the EDD's physiological indicators. The mobile unit placed on the EDD's body allows control over the brain's bioelectrical potential while assessing the frequency and power of the dominant EEG rhythm. During search activity, it measures dominant EEG rhythms, breathing frequency and heart rate, ECG data, and other relevant factors. The remote module is a high-spec notebook computer loaded with special software to receive, analyze, and record biometric data from the EDD. The Analysis results are kept in an automatically created research protocol that documents how the animal's central nervous system and relevant physiological parameters react during a search when they detect a target substance. Aeroflot specialists have no doubt the olfactory biotechnical system is an effective way to protect passengers, crew, and airline employees against terrorist attacks by detecting explosives. Anyone who knows anything about dogs knows about their loyalty and devotion. Since the dawn of time, they've been man's best friends, and now dogs are using their natural talents to help keep Aeroflot passengers safe. Working dogs have been man's best friend, helper, and defender almost since time began. Loyal, faithful, fearless, and devoted. They work tirelessly to please their masters. Now, in Russia, dogs are doing what they do best, protecting every single passenger who flies with Aeroflot, Russian Airlines.
Спасибо. Хотел успокоить вас, во время съемок этого фильма ни одна из собак не пострадала. Так, если можно. Мы видим смысл нашей работы по развитию служебной кинологии в аэропортах в следующем. Существующие сегодня технические средства обеспечения безопасности, как правило, расположены стационарно. Как правило, человек, который хочет обойти эту систему, хорошо изучает ее возможности и ее слабые стороны. И, к сожалению, зачастую такие атаки достигают своей цели. В первый день работы нашего симпозиума было показано наглядно на модели с цветными мишенями и цветными мячами, что достаточно быстро человек ориентируется, адаптируется для того, чтобы разобраться в обстановке. Применение собак в данном случае является дополнительной мерой к общепринятым системам безопасности, и они призваны как раз помочь сделать систему непредсказуемой. Непредсказуемой не только для внешнего противника, а во многих случаях и для персонала, работающего в аэропортах. Это речь идет о том, что инсайдерские угрозы в данном случае тоже каким-то образом пресекаются путем применения собак. Более того, мы работаем не на линии предполетного досмотра, а гораздо раньше. На автомобильных парковках, на подъездных путях, при вокзальных площадях и непосредственно в залах, где идет первичная обработка пассажиров, в зонах общего доступа. Здесь тоже есть свои проблемы, связанные с тем, что есть ограничения на применение служебных животных в общественных местах. Как мы решаем эти задачи? Ну, во-первых, для решения задач определили, что является проблемным в использовании собак. Прежде всего, это влияние внешней среды на рабочие характеристики. Представляете, тысячи людей в терминалах, сотни тысяч запахов, шумы. Все это достаточно быстро утомляет собаку. снижает эффективность ее работы. Следующим ограничением является время работы, использования активных собак. Как бы они ни старались вместе со своими проводниками хорошо выполнять работу, но физиологические возможности собаки при активном поиске не превышают 30-40 минут работы. Затем необходимо время для отдыха. Еще одна проблема, которая дает собакам, вернее, дает преимущество техническим системам. Современные технические системы безопасности обеспечивают, во-первых, автоматическое тестирование самой работоспособности системы. Во-вторых, системы дают объективную реакцию, документированную на момент обнаружения. Это и фотофиксации, другие виды приборного анализа и приборной регистрации. Поэтому мы решили объединить возможности служебных собак, их обонятельные системы с теми преимуществами, которые обладают сегодня технические системы. И назвали мы это ольфакторная биотехническая система. Суть ее работы достаточно проста. На первом этапе информация в виде запаха получается собакой или в процессе ее самостоятельного передвижения по объекту, а если объект расположен далеко, сложен по своему внутреннему содержанию. Возьмем, к примеру, воздушное судно со своими техническими, грузовыми отсеками, пассажирскими салонами. Поэтому мы, пользуясь технологией REST, отбираем пробы воздуха и предоставляем эти пробы воздуха на обыкновенных фильтрах в лабораторных условиях собаки. Далее обонятельная система собаки определяет, реагирует определенным образом. В головном мозге собаки идет обработка этой информации, которая затем считывается программным методом и передается на пункт управления для принятия решения. Я подробнее остановлюсь вот на возможности технологии REST уже вне грузовых перевозок, а на многих объектах, которые присущи работающему аэропорту. Вот, пожалуйста, с помощью небольшого устройства мы можем снимать пробы воздуха для доставки их в лабораторию. Более того, в нижнем ряду посередине видите схематичное изображение обыкновенной запаховой ловушки. Эта ловушка, по сути дела, очень проста, и размещается она в системах вентиляции воздушных судов ли, или каких-либо помещений производственных, офисных, и находится там определенное время, по истечению которого на нем непременно осаждаются пары искомого вещества, если они на этом объекте присутствуют. Далее идет обработка сигналов уже в лаборатории. При этом был разработан программно-аппаратный комплекс, снимающий биометрические характеристики, биофизические, физиологические характеристики собаки, начиная с сигналов, электрических сигналов головного мозга, кардиограммы, дыхания, движения. В фильме это вы наблюдали, и вы можете сейчас привести аналогии. Очень похожи подходы наши с тем, что продемонстрировали нам чуть ранее фирмой ICTS. Как выглядит в данном случае образ в головном мозге собаки, рожденной обнаружением привычного или искомого вещества? Здесь показаны фрагменты записи электроэнцефалограммы, электрокардиограммы и дыхания в момент ее сигнального положения собаки. Красная вертикальная черта и в первом, и во втором случае показывает момент, когда собака своим условным поведением показала, что нашла искомое вещество. Но в одном случае она ошиблась, во втором случае сигнал был правильный. И вы видите, насколько отличаются характеристики, в данном случае, электрофизиологических показателей. Вот эти характеристики, они обрабатываются машинным способом. В результате у каждой собаки появляется свой характерный для нее образ узнавания заданного вещества. Затем это все подается в системы документирования, идет сигнал по системам оповещения на пункт управления, сразу же может быть распечатан протокол. Я хотел бы на этом завершить свое выступление с тем, что дать возможность нашим коллегам показать вам живых собак, но мы будем готовы ответить на ваши вопросы. Спасибо.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure to be here to talk about a program that I'm so very proud of. As my friend here just mentioned, we will have a live dog demonstration, but if I bring the dog out now, then nobody's going to listen to me. So I'd like to start out just telling you a bit about our program and how we got to where we are and the benefits that you'll be able to realize for your countries as well. The Royal Canadian National, or sorry, the RCMP is our national police force. That means that we have responsibility for not only enforcing national statutes. In many provinces and territories, we're also the provincial police and the municipal police. So we have a huge, huge mandate. I come from the RCMP's Police Dog Training Center, which is located in Alberta, central Alberta. Our dog service has been in existence for, 82 years as of this year, and we've been at this site in Alberta for the last 52 years. So we've established long-standing roots and a long breadth of experience in dogs. Our site is 44 acres and continues to grow. What we have is 25 staff members, and every police dog for the RCMP is born at the center, and all the training occurs there as well. So for every police dog that's working in Canada, actually 99% of the dogs out there right now in the RCMP come from our breeding program. We have two types of dogs. We have general duty dogs, which and the other ones are specialty handler dogs. The specialty dogs are a single profile dog, either explosives or narcotics, where the general duty dogs will also have either an explosives or narcotics profile, but they will also be able to track human scent, search for evidence. They'll also have an apprehension profile. So they are multifaceted dogs. I know several of our partners around the world have dogs that just have single profile. If you're going to be apprehending a criminal, you're going to take one dog out of the truck. If you're searching for drugs, you'll bring out a second dog. Our one dog does everything. We also train with several other external agencies across Canada. We train some municipal forces as well as Parks Canada for avalanche and search and rescue. I've already gone over the multi-purpose dog that we have. What we're doing right now, although our dogs can search for cadavers, we have an enhanced cadaver program to look for ancient remains or historical remains, just because of the demand that we're seeing in our country right now. So our training program runs for 85 working days for a brand new handler. That means they have to spend just under 5 months away from their families with us to learn how to handle a dog. Before they even get to that stage, what they've done is they've raised puppies for us voluntarily. And sometimes it takes up to 6 or 7 years before you even make it to the training program. So it is quite a long endeavor. There's a commitment that has to be there, and it's not for everybody. I know when people leave the training academy in Regina, over 90% say they want to become dog handlers. By the time we get to our imprinting program, the numbers get smaller and smaller, and we have imprinters that last a couple of years, but the ones that are truly committed, it takes them 6 or 7 years. So what we search for, evidence at crime scene, missing people. Our dogs are all trained to detect firearms. And we train on specific odors. So a narcotics dog will be introduced odors individually, and they'll only search for the odors that they're trained for. Explosives is the exact same way. We will not train a dog to do explosives and narcotics together, because the last thing we want to do is a dog to sit and the handler doesn't know if it is something that's going to go boom or a bag of marijuana. So our criminal apprehension profile, our dogs will engage people on, the rules of engagement have 3 items. The first one is on the command of the handler. The second one would be to protect the handler, and the third one is to protect themselves. So if you kick at my dog is going to take a piece of you. So our dogs are, we use them to assist in operations. So public order, they support our riot teams, they support our emergency response teams, and they're also, as I mentioned, help out with avalanche search and rescue. So our handlers that are in the mountains have to learn how to ski, and that's part of the job description for them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, our dogs are all born at our center, and they come from our breeding program. Our breeding program was established in 1999, and I think we had a bit of foresight, because when September 11, 2001 rolled around, a lot of the big players in the world flew around and collected all the good working dogs in the world, and there was a huge global shortage. Able to sustain our program, we had to ramp up our breeding program, and now we're one of the biggest breeding programs in the world. I think only Sweden is ahead of us here when it comes to breeding. Typically, we will breed about 100 healthy puppies a year. So when I'm having a bad day, I go out and I play with puppies and everything is good again. So of these 100 puppies, I need about 30 to 35 puppies to sustain our program. So 1 in 3 puppies in our breeding program will become a working dog. The ones that don't make it in our program are still high quality working line German Shepherds, and we will sell them to other police forces. And we do have exchanges with other countries to keep our bloodlines active. A lot of people, when I first came into the dog section, they were saying, I see German Shepherds everywhere, why don't you just buy German Shepherds? Well, the German Shepherd, the working dog, is nothing like the dog that you're going to see out on the street today. Our working dog, I'll equate it more to an Olympic athlete. You can go out on the street of Montreal here today and you'll pass 1,000 people, but you may not pass, one Olympic athlete, because the difference is so huge. We selected German Shepherds because when a dog graduates from our academy, he or she could be posted anywhere in Canada. They could be up in the Arctic, or they could be in Vancouver where it rains all year. We found it's a versatile breed. They're very intelligent. They have the size. Our dogs are a mid-stature, so you'll see in a few minutes when I bring Ivy in, she's going to be a lot smaller, and she's not going to have that slant that you'll see in show dogs. We've basically bred out the hip dysplasia out of our breeds, and they're very healthy. We're breeding for performance and for health of the dogs. Also, the same dog that I'm going to be apprehending a criminal with tonight will be in your child's or grandchild's classroom tomorrow morning. So we build very social animals. They do have a great ability to track and a superior prey drive. So what we have to do is basically harness what they have naturally and teach them for a policing purpose. I bet you're more interested in narcotics or explosives rather than narcotics, but what we do is we use passive confirmation. So when the dog is trained on an explosive or a narcotic, we don't want them to address the hide. We don't want them to move it or touch it. We want a positive sit confirmation, and that's a passive confirmation. The handler can then assess and then take the appropriate steps. The training begins at the search wall, and this is on the screen you can see what our search wall looks like. It's completely modular, it's purpose-built for us, and it contains several holes that can be changed around. In each hole we will put a Kong ball or a ball, a toy that the dogs go absolutely crazy for. And on the other side of the wall, we'll have a spring-loaded mechanism that is activated by a remote control. So when the dog goes to that hole, and if they detect what they're supposed to detect, we should get a positive sit confirmation, and that dog will sit and stare at that particular hole and just salivate until the handler pushes the remote control and launches that ball to them, and that is their reward. They do everything for reward. It's all positive reinforcement on our animals. We use this wall because it gives us total control of the environment. We also, we're able to control distractions. We don't eliminate them because in the real world there will be distractions. But we get to control how many and what they are at any given time. And we will introduce more and more distractions as the dog becomes more and more versed in the training. The patterning, it's the handler will actually go to each hole and direct them to where they're going. So it's very much a team effort. It teaches the dog to focus. We know exactly what we want them to search for, and they know there's going to be a reward. Sometimes there'll be a negative search where there will be no reward. But the dogs they continue, they go. So, what we'll do is, I did have a video. Now I feel like the CEO of Apple because my video is not working, but I have Ivy here, so we'll just skip the video and move on. So once we have our search sequence established in the wall, then we'll move out to other areas. We'll move out into the public. We'll add other environmental factors. We'll change things up for the dog because the dogs are very smart and they will learn patterns on the wall quickly. So we will add more and more distractions. For example, with a male dog, we'll bring a dog in heat through before, and that's a huge distraction to the dogs. But we have to make sure that they can work through distractions in the real world. So we will go to other areas, hotel rooms, warehouses. We'll go into schools, anywhere that the dog may end up in an operational setting. We do a lot of work in airports. We do a lot of work on aircraft. So the way forward for us, we work with our international partners, especially in the area of intelligence. As threats emerge, we have to tailor our program to deal with that. Currently, we're working with an organization in Canada to introduce homemade explosives. More and more we're seeing as in terrorist attacks that it's homemade explosives that are being used, and they're a little more trickier for us because it's not an off-the-shelf version where we can completely train on. We need lab technicians from the RCMP in Ottawa, in Vancouver to actually mix the real explosives for us. We don't work with pseudo-explosives because we want to make sure if it doesn't go boom, to me it's not a real explosive. We have to train on the real thing, and also the mixture of different precursors to make sure that we don't miss anything. And the last thing I want to touch on is fentanyl. I know it's not an explosive, but I know in our communities here it's the cause of many, many deaths. Another analog of fentanyl is carfentanil, and a few grains of salt, about that equivalent of carfentanil, is enough to kill somebody. Our big fear is the weaponization of fentanyl. So we've come up with a way where we can actually train to detect fentanyl safely with our dogs. We've come up with a methodology where the fentanyl is diluted into a sterile solution. We're able to put it into our wall where it's enough that the dog can detect, but not enough that it's going to cause a safety concern to the handler or the dog. Before we started doing this, I know our dogs were coming across it every day and not realizing it. We've been carrying naloxone and Narcan in our dog kits for the dog safety for over 20 years. But now with the advent of fentanyl, this is something I think we should all be concerned about. And I guess you've probably heard enough from me. I see that Ivy and Sergeant Daigle are here. Sergeant Germain Daigle is from our explosives detection unit in Ottawa. He is a certified bomb disposal technician. He's also a qualified dog handler. His dog Ivy is a 5-year-old German Shepherd that comes from our breeding program. And they're going to put on a display of what the dog can detect. We have 2 hides in these bags that are set up in the center aisle. Sergeant Daigle and Ivy do not know where the explosives are hidden, but we do have actual explosives here. We have C4 and we have ANFO in these bags. So what we're going to do is we're going to just have Sergeant Daigle go through and he'll show you exactly what the patterning is.
We can see it on the...
Oh, okay. It's also on the big screen if you wanted to see up there. It's easier. Awesome. So you see the positive sit confirmation, and next she's waiting for her reward. And she will do anything for that toy. Exactly. Good job.
That's it. I had 2 hides in there. So confirmation was good.
Yeah, so yeah, she's performed exactly the way we wanted her to. So We will also be outside after this session if you had any questions for either myself or Sergeant Daigle, or if you wanted to see Ivy as well. I know that's the big draw, so I don't feel bad, don't worry. Excellent, thank you very much.
I want to sincerely thank our presenters today for quite an exciting demonstration of canine dogs. I wonder, Akrum, is it possible for each of us to have a selfie with Evette outside the hall? Good, good. I think Evette would love to have a selfie with all of you. Terrific. So, again, spasibo, Azat. Thank you, Akrum and Germain with Evette. And please pass on our great appreciation to Evette for fine performance. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, yes, again. What a team. We all feel quite secure now being in this building. Terrific. We have a coffee break coming up, and it's sponsored by IATA. And I would ask that you please come back at 11 o'clock sharp so that we can resume our demonstrations. Thank you so much. Enjoy the networking event. Merci. Good, terrific. Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Ah, спасибо.
Отлично, спасибо.
Фото. Фото. Фото.
He's gone with Evette, so.